Welcome back to Yoga Express. It's all about moving the body to still the mind. My name is Banu. I'm your host for this program. We've had this program for 582 episodes. We are in episode number 583. And I think all of us in the control room, my crew, and us here on the mats, we're all really excited to be here with you, our viewers. Feel free to stretch with us. For today, we have our special guest, Chris Temple. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Chris. And to Chris, he's going to introduce himself in just a moment. But Chris has been with us before in previous episodes.
Yes.
He took us through an amazing workout, so I'm really happy and proud that you're back with us, Chris.
Thank you so much, Manu.
Thank you for being here. To my immediate left, we have Nirja Raju. Nirja is a visitor to New York, and she's just here for a week, but she has seen New York. I told her, if you come to a TV studio, you have done New York. So thank you, Nirja.
Thank you, Banu.
I appreciate you being here. You said this is an early experience for you. You haven't done much yoga before, right?
Yeah, I'm a yoga baby.
You're a
still.
yoga baby. Okay, we're going to do some
Yoga baby.
graduating today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. To my extreme right, Liha Mohammed. Liha is also a yoga teacher. She was trained in Goa. You want to tell us a little bit about your Goa experience? Just maybe about 30 seconds?
Yes, very warming, a very homey experience, and it was enjoying to be by the seaside. So just to be by the water.
I remember before we started taping, I was asking Chris how it feels because I know, Chris, you have practiced on the sand.
I have.
Could you tell our viewers one more time how it feels to practice on the sand? You're talking about.
Well, if you're a yoga baby, I would avoid it. It's pretty challenging, absolutely. There's something nice about having hard surface underneath your feet, like a
Right.
normal yoga studio. When you go on the sand, it changes everything because we're used to pushing against the ground and feeling a little push back, but when you
Right.
push into sand, sometimes it doesn't push back. And after you're practicing for a little more time, it pushes back less and less, and you're practicing 3 feet into a sand
Just means that we are getting
valley.
stronger.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
just being acknowledged by the earth, right? When you talk
Yeah.
about push back, it's like saying, I'm here. For you."
Absolutely, yeah. It's like a relationship. When you give, you want a little bit back.
Right.
In the sand, it gives a little less back, but it's still a beautiful. It's a beautiful experience, and it's something that absolutely should be done.
Thank you for sharing that. I love
Yeah.
the way you express a very simple experience. So thank
Thank
you. We're
you.
really looking forward to your lesson today, Chris. I'd like to thank my crew as well. Sergio Rivera. Sergio is our director. Sergio, thank you so much for guiding Connie Perry and Ehi Oviasu Khan. I'm not sure which camera I should be looking at, so I'm going to go directly into camera one. And Brian Breton, thank you, our facilitator for today. Thank you so much for setting us up and getting us on the road. Chris, we're all yours. Take us
Fantastic.
on our journey.
All right, always good thing to center yourself when we start yoga. So we're going to do that. Just anything that allows you to sit with a nice tall seat. You can stay on your knees if you're happier there.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be cross-legged, but we're just going to bring our hands onto our knees. And you just want to, as we were talking about a moment before, feel a little give and take with the earth. So you're giving with your booty, you're pressing your butt into the ground a little bit, feeling the earth below you. And then with that energy of pressing down, you'll feel the crown of your head lengthen. You can just close your mouth, start to breathe in and out through the nose a couple times. Give your breath a little bit of resonance. So we create a breathy quality, a resonance of the breath against the back of the throat. Just 1 or 2 times, lengthening out your inhale, lengthening out your exhale. So we'll just bring this right into movement. So if you have your eyes closed, open up your eyes, and then just take an inhale, reach your hands forward, up and over your head. Look at your thumbs, press your palms as you exhale, press your palms together. As you exhale, you'll just bring your hands down to your heart. We're coordinating breath and movement. Inhale, take your arms forward and up. Press the palms. Exhale, draw your hands down to your heart. Taking that one more time. Breathe, reach forward like you're scooping up lots of water. Exhale as you press your palms. You're drawing your prayer to the center of your heart. So we'll take a twist. Let's all go to the right. Left hand is going to reach across to your right knee. Sit up tall. Keep pressing. Take a breath in as you exhale. Just dial your chest to the back. So it's not necessarily that you look back, because we don't want to twist from the neck. We want to twist from the center of your spine. So take a breath, get tall. Exhale, give yourself a good squeeze. You can use that left hand for a little extra squeeze. One more time, please. Big inhale. And then exhale. Go ahead and look forward. Leave your hands exactly where they are. We're going to take the right hand, though, and reach it up and over our head, taking a side stretch. So the left hand hooks over your knee. You look up towards your top hand and send your next two breaths into the side ribs. So you're breathing into the side ribs to create a little stretch. Mind that you're not collapsing into the left side of your body. Take that one more time. Press into your right butt cheek, stretch through the right arm, and then exhale. Go ahead and lower your hands down. We'll take that stretch right over to the other side. So right hand reaches to the knee, left hand reaches back behind you. Press into your butt cheeks, breathe your heart tall. Exhale again. It's about twisting your heart behind you, not about looking behind you, which tends to not feel so good in the neck. Our neck tends to be the best rotator on our spine, so we tend to overdo it there. So let's take one more deep breath in. An exhale and a good squeeze and a twist. And then leaving your hands right where they are. Go ahead and look forward. And then take your left hand up and over your head, creating a side stretch. Make sure you really hook into that right hand so you can press into the left hip. Feel the stretch in through your side ribs. This looks beautiful. Breathing in. Try to not wear your left shoulder as an earring. Make sure you're drawing the arm into the shoulder socket. Take one more breath. So fantastic. Go ahead and tip back up. Nice and easy. We're all going to come on to hands and knees, so go ahead and press forward. Line up your wrists right below your shoulders. Adjust your knees so they're right below your hips. And then we're going to inhale. Everybody look up to the sky. Imagine you have a tail feather and you're trying to stick it as high as you can so your booty presses up. And then exhale round into your back. We call these cow cats or cat cows. Inhale, dropping the belly. Look forward. This would be the cow portion. And then exhale into the cat. So you want to feel your back stretch out like a Halloween cat. Let's take one more of those. Really match the breath to the movement. Inhale, drawing, looking forward, looking up. And then exhale to draw back. Great. Let's go ahead and curl your toes under. And then we're going to lift our hips high and back to a downward facing dog. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, how far should I be with my hands and feet? Well, this is the way we figure that out if you don't know already. We'll breathe forward to a plank pose. Everybody come forward, shoulders over your wrists. So if you needed to walk your hands forward or wiggle your feet back, this is what you adjust to. So we're in plank pose here. Take a breath and then just press your hips high and back to your downward facing dog. You might step your feet a little bit closer to the hands, but for the most part, they stay exactly where they are. Go ahead and look between your thighs and press your heart closer to the thighs. So let's pulsate here. We're going to breathe forward to plank pose. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Again, matching breath with movement. This is what vinyasa is. Breathe shoulders over wrists. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. One more time, breathing forward. And exhale to press back. Go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet at the back of your mat. As you get there, parallel your feet out. They can be about hips width apart. Everybody grab for opposite elbows and drop your head. Just give yourself a nice sway side to side. Now I'm looking down so everyone can hear what I'm saying, but you all make sure that your heads drop completely. Little sway side to side should feel oh so nice in the lower back. And if this doesn't feel good in the lower back, make sure your knees are bent. We're going to go ahead and quiet that sway down. Go ahead and drip your hands back down to the earth. And like a cat, we're going to palm over palm. So let's walk back to plank pose. And great. Step back to your plank. Find one line of energy from your heels, through your hips, through the top of your head. Let's all take a breath here. Now pay attention. We're going to drop our knees down. Hips back on your heels. Look forward like you're a cat about to pounce. As you inhale, come back forward to plank pose. And then exhale, press back, downward facing dog. We're warming up all your synovial joints. Inhale, breathe, shoulders over the wrists, plank pose. Knees down, hips back on the heels. Look forward like you're gonna pounce. Breathe forward to the plank pose. Exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog. What say? We'll take that one more time. Breathing forward. Knees down, hips back, look forward, keep the breath moving. Breathe forward to plank. And then pressing back, downward facing dog. Let's go ahead, walk the hands back to the feet one more time. This time we're gonna leave the right hand down. You can come on to fingerprints. You can bend both knees. If the hand doesn't reach, that's fine. Take the left hand up to the sky. We're twisting here. So you might experiment with straightening through your left leg, but if it doesn't go all the way straight, don't worry. Don't worry also, too, about looking up so much with your eyes, which may crank your neck. Doesn't feel good, but you do want to try to roll your heart towards that top hand. Take another breath here. And a good exhale to squeeze, and then go ahead and lower your top hand down. Switch sides, right hand goes up, and then we're looking up. You can again keep both knees bent, but over time you'll start to straighten through your right leg. Not a bad idea, because we're not only twisting here, but you also are opening up your right IT band, which is not particularly a friendly tendon. Take a breath. Exhale, let's lower the hand down once again like a cat, palm over palm. Is going to take us back to plank pose. We're going to change things here, so take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower your knees down. Lower your chest between your thumbs. We call this Ashtangasana. Ashta means 8. 8 points of you on the ground. Chin, chest, 2 hands, 2 knees, 2 feet. Breathe forward to a cobra pose. Let's everybody look up at the ceiling, but keep the back of your neck long. You don't need to lift your pelvis off the ground. Let's press back to child's pose, which means knees wide. Hips back on the heels. Tap your forehead against the ground. Great. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips high and back. Downward facing dog. So we're going to take that 2 more times. Here we go. Breathing shoulders over the wrist. Lower your knees. Stick your butt up. Lower your chest between your thumbs. Smooth breath. Draw forward to a cobra pose. Bhujangasana. And then this time right back to downward facing dog. Curl your toes, press, keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing, downward facing dog. So I promised one more time. The breathing sounds amazing. Let's come back forward to plank. Lower your knees down, stick your butt up, slide forward into your cobra pose. And press back, downward facing dog. How's everybody doing? Okay, let's all take a big breath in. Breathe out your mouth. Yeah, let me hear that again, please. Big breath and a good ah. Love the sound of that. Nice job, Anu. So let's everybody breathe your right leg high to the sky. Exhale, step your foot in between the hands. Now, if your foot doesn't get there, you go ahead and take your right hand on the foot and you help it there. No worries. Left hand is going to stay down. Let's take our right hand up to the sky. So everything we've done up to this point in that first sequence was about flexion, extension of the spine. Here we're rotating. So really letting your heart shine up towards that top hand. Take a big breath. Exhale, squeeze belly to spine. One more time. Big inhale. As you exhale, lower your top hand down. We're going to step our back foot forward to a forward fold at the front of the mat. Parallel feet, please. Inhale, lift up halfway. You can bring your hands on your shins. Stick your butt back. Squeeze your shoulders back. Heart's going forward. Exhale, releasing forward fold. Let's roll up and take your arms up and over your head. Press your palms above your head. Bring your hands down to your heart. So beautiful. The breathing sounds amazing. So important. Let's breathe the arms up. You can press your palms at the top. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. Dive into a forward fold. Excellent. Inhale, we'll lift up just halfway again. As you exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Step your left foot back to a lunge. Step your right foot back to plank. Take a breath in, and we're just going to press back to downward facing dog. Tricked ya. Take a breath or two here. Sometimes it's nice to skip 1 or 2 of those push-ups, especially if your shoulders, if you're a yoga baby, if your shoulders are feeling a little tired, we skip 1 or 2 of those, no worries. So we're going to take the other side of what we just did. On your inhale, let's lift the left leg up. When you exhale, step it forward. And we say by hook or crook, so you might have to grab the foot and help it to the front of the mat. We'll plant the right hand down. Take the left hand up to the sky. 3 breaths here. Spread your heart. Pull the belly in. Press into that left foot. Try to keep your right wrist nice and light. One more time. And then the top hand's going to come down. The back foot's going to step forward. We're forward folding at the front of the mat. Beautiful moves here, everyone. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, release. Forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way up. Reverse swan dive. Gaze at your thumbs. Exhale, hands back down to the heart. We're going to breathe the arms back up and over your head. Exhale, dive, forward fold. You can always bend the knees, especially if you've got a tight lower back. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. We're going to step your right foot back to a lunge. We're going to step your left foot back to plank. And I'm not going to be so nice this time. We are going to lower down through our push-up. Knees, chest, and chin is fine. Slither forward into a cobra pose. Keep the breath moving. Downward facing dog. Hips high and back. Take a big inhale through your nose. Breathe it out your mouth. Love it. One more time. Big breath in. This time we'll flutter our lips. Oh, very talented lip trills here. Great. So we're just going to lower our knees down, and we're going to return onto a seat. Nice and simple stuff. You can cross your ankles and reverse or swing your legs out to a side. So we've got the spine pretty warm. Let's bring the soles of our feet together. Yeah, you feeling all right? Everybody breathing a little heavier?
Stagger a Liha and
Yeah, take it forward a little bit. Great. You and I will be in the back. So we're going to pull the heels in towards your groin a little bit. You're going to squeeze your heart out of the front of the chest like you're trying to pop a grapefruit between the chest. And then take a breath. Let's look up. Little back bend. And then as you exhale, start to bow down over your legs. Baddha Konasana. So the great thing about stretching like this is that if we have tight hamstrings, they're not in our way. We're just stretching the lower back here. So go ahead and drop your chin towards your chest best as you can. And we're going to take 3 breaths here. Deep inhale. 2 more. Yeah, if you can hear yourself breathing, that would be fantastic. Exhale it out. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. And last one. So we're going to roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And if you would please, let's straighten out your right leg. Cool. Come on along. Right leg's going to straighten out. So we want to bring the left sole of our foot not only into the inner thigh, but also pull the heel in towards your groin. Now, the temptation for a lot of us is to let your foot do what we call invert. We want to keep it nice and flexed. So the pinky toe side of your foot is pulling back towards you. If you're doing it right, you're going to feel the muscles on the outside of your leg engage. So let's center our heart towards the thigh and breathe your arms up over your head. As you exhale, everybody look forward and reach forward. You don't have to grab onto your foot, but if it's there for you, go ahead and grab onto it. Sometimes I like to just put my palms onto the ground. This way I'm relying on the strength of my core to get deeper into the forward fold rather than just using my arms, which we tend to do all the time anyway. So take a breath in like you're trying to give your big toe a kiss with your heart, and then exhale, melting down. Maybe the hands slide forward a little bit more. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Deep breath. Exhaling out. 2 more breaths. Wow, you're really good at this breathing, Banu. I can see you've done this once or twice. Exhale, melt. And the last time. Breathing it out. So fantastic. Go ahead, let's everybody back up. So our next stop is to a seated twist. Now we were in one before. This one's a little deeper. So start to bend your right knee. Place your right foot down. I like to bring my left hand onto my knee, my right hand underneath to the ankle. I point that knee forward, and then I'm going to go ahead and step this right foot to the outside. Super technical stuff we got going on here. I'm glad everybody followed me on that. So left forearm wraps around the shin, yeah? So there's 2 energies going on. We're hugging the knee, so that the inner thigh squeezes into the belly, but then we're using the twist to press our belly back to our inner thigh. You can bring your right hand back behind you, close to your seat, close to the root of your spine, the sacrum. Breathe up tall. And then exhale, twist your heart more than anything else to the back of the room. We'll take that 1 or 2 more times. Big breath in. Make sure that the right butt cheek is stay pressing into the ground. Let's take it 2 more times. I lied. Deep inhale. Exhale forward. And then last time, please. Exhale it out. Good squeeze. Great. So it's always nice to counter twist. Let's walk our hands over to the left and just bow down. If the right butt cheek wants to peel off the ground, go ahead and lift. Excellent. Let's all come on back up. Good work. So we're going to switch the legs. Nice and simple. Left leg extends. Right sole of the foot onto the inner thigh. Again, don't let this foot get lazy. It's going to want to hang off to the side, and it doesn't want to stay flexed. But we don't want to just stretch the hamstring. That's boring. We want to stretch the calf, too. More bang for our buck. Arms out. Heart center's at the big toe. As you exhale, go long. And maybe, like I said, maybe you don't grab the foot. If you want to grab the foot, great. But you inhale like the heart's trying to kiss your big toe. And then as you exhale, you melt down. Maybe the hands slide forward just a smidgen. Deep breath. Exhale. 2 more. Make sure you're keeping your left foot nice and flexed. Last time. Awesome. Take your time to come back up. So again, we're coming into that seated twist. Go ahead and bend the left knee. Place the foot onto the ground. So I grab the ankle with my left hand, knee with my right, point the knee forward, step the foot to the outside. Bring everything close to your center. I got to do a little spring cleaning here. And then wrapping my right forearm around the shin, left hand back behind you. So remember the 2 energies. It's not just about twisting. It's also about pulling that leg into your belly. So sit up tall, superhero the heart, I like to say. Stick out your heart like a superhero, and then exhale, wring yourself out. We'll take a couple more of these. We just lather, rinse, and repeat. Deep inhale. Exhale for a good squeeze. 1 more time, please. Big breath. And exhale to squeeze. Great. Let's take our counter twist. Everybody release. Walk your hands over to the right. Bow yourself down. If your left butt cheek wants to come off the ground, it'll probably feel amazing. Awesome. Come back up to your center. So, like I said, first time we stretched, we had we were only stretching the lower back, then we stretched 1 hamstring at a time. Now we're going to take them both on together. 2 heels towards the front of the room. I'm good? Okay. So again, we're not looking for this. No Charlie Chaplin legs. Love the guy, really funny, not for yoga. We want to keep the feet dialed in. Breathe yourself up. Kick through your heels. Kick through your heels. Go ahead and reach forward. Now again, maybe today you resist the temptation to hold on to anything. I think it's a little harder. So we're going to breathe our heart forward, and then you're going to exhale to let your head bounce. And then we're going to breathe our heart forward. Maybe the hands go for a little walk, and exhale to melt. Last 2. And the last one. So amazing. Let's all walk back. So we're going to cross our ankles here. You're going to rock yourself forward, coming to a kneeling pose, or hero's pose as it's called, Virasana. Sitting back on the heels. This is the one you started with. You like this. This is great for stretching the front muscles of the leg. You really get a stretch on the... Yeah, absolutely, because you're creating compression in the ankles. Absolutely feels good. So let's just take a moment, bring the chin onto the chest. So we're stretching out particularly what we call the cervical spine, semispinalis capitis, all the spine muscles that connect to the back of your skull. And just let your head hang heavy here. So we're just prepping for a couple pretty deep back bends, but of course we only take them as deep as our bodies allow us to do, of course, with the breath. So let's come on to hands and knees just for a moment. We're going to curl our toes back behind us. and we're gonna start to stand onto our knees. Now, we've got a carpet, we've got a mat. Our knees are probably okay here, but if you're at home and this hurts your knees, I always recommend fold your mat in on both sides, and this way you get a little extra padding. Of course, my mat is super duper thin, so that did absolutely nothing, but hopefully yours is a little thicker. Bring your hands onto your back. So you all stay facing this way. I'll just face sideways so people can see. I always recommend if you can do this with your wrists, it's gonna open your shoulders more, but some people's wrists don't like that. So you can always face the fingertips down. There's no problem with that. So I'm gonna face back forward. What I'm trying to do is create a connection with my lower back and my butt. So I want to feel the butt here just a little bit. And as we look up, I'm going to press my hands into my lower back to press my hips forward. I'm going to start to look up and back behind me just a little bit. Now I'm keeping my hands on my butt to make sure I don't start clenching my butt cheeks. I want to clench my back muscles, and I want to keep my core pulled in. And every time you exhale, you look at something slightly further back behind. Take one more big breath. And then exhale, come on back up, press into the lower back. Go ahead and sit back on your heels. And then we'll return to exactly where we were. This time, let's turn the palms up. Let's bring the chin onto the chest, just like we did do. And of course, this is going to feel probably a little more intense in the back. Breathing here. Beautiful work, everybody. Let's just bring our hands to our hearts. Take a big breath in through your nose. And breathe it out your mouth. Cool. If you're happy to sit like this, go ahead. And if not, you can find a simple cross-legged position. So everything that we did was super simple stuff just to warm up your spine. Little forward and back bending, little twisting, but great in the morning, that
This
sort of workout. Yeah.
It feels amazing. I have a quick question before we have the credits are rolling, but I need an answer to this.
Yes, please.
Why does it feel so good when we do twists? I'm sure our viewers want to know.
Well, I mean, basically, we don't do much in our lives that we have to get into that super deep twist. You know, I have the luxury of riding my bike around New York City, so I'm twisting every which way to Sunday. But in general, why are we ever doing that? But when especially when we use the arms and the breath to pull everything into your core. In yoga, we say you're finding your central channel,
Right,
your
and the
Sushumna Nadi.
Sushumna.
So maybe
Wow.
maybe that we could say that, but I think more on a very pedestrian level, we just don't get an opportunity to really twist
So
that
it
deep.
feels amazing. There's
Feels
something
amazing.
fresh and new.
So good for strengthening and opening up the spine. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah,
that
my
was
pleasure,
an amazing
Banu.
workout.
Thank you.
Get in touch
Thank
with
you.
Chris.
Beautiful practice.
ChrisTempleYoga@gmail.com. That's not up on the screen, but his credits will be up. Well, the credits already came up. Facebook and Instagram, Chris Temple Yoga. And thanks.
Instagram.
Okay.